Friends, today we are talking about taxes. As you can imagine, the Israelites did not relish paying taxes to Rome. The Romans were their oppressors, the empire that was lording itself over them, taking away their sovereignty as a country, squashing them like bugs when they rebelled, and grinding them into the ground with taxes. And so the Pharisees and the Herodians team up in this story to go try and trap Jesus by asking him about taxes. They think they can corner him on this issue. But as we see every time somebody tries to outsmart Jesus, he is far too clever for them. And he flips this whole thing on its head. Let's see what he has to say. This is verse 14 of chapter 12. They came and said to him, "Teacher, we know that you are true and do not care about anyone's opinion, for you are not swayed by appearances, but truly teach the way of God." I think they're flattering him, and probably in a mocking tone, because they do not think this highly of Jesus, right? Is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Should we pay them or should we not? They think they can trap him here because if he says, no, don't pay taxes to Caesar, well, you can bet your bottom dollar these Pharisees and Herodians are going to beeline for the Roman authorities and report him for inciting a revolt. But if he says, yes, pay taxes to Caesar, well, that's not going to go over well with the crowds of everyday Israelite men and women standing around him who are burdened by the taxes. But Jesus decides that he doesn't have to play their game. And so this is what he says. "Why put me to the test? Bring me a denarius and let me look at it." And they brought one, and he said to them, "Whose likeness and inscription is this?" And they said to him, "Caesar's." If you look up the common coinage of the time, if you look up Tiberius Caesar tribute coin in Google, you can see some images of what these coins would look like. They would have Tiberius Caesar's face on it with an inscription around his head that would say, "Worshipped son of a worshipped God." I mean, friends, what do you think they're saying? They're calling him the Son of God, not in so many words, but that is exactly what they mean. If you were to turn it to the other side, it would say something about how Caesar is the high priest of the Roman pantheon. Imagine how thick the irony would be for Jesus to be standing in the vicinity of the Jerusalem temple, holding a coin that was worshiping somebody else as the Son of God, and calling somebody else the high priest when he is the only son of the only one true God. And the high priest of Israel is over in the temple over there. And so he asked them, whose image is on this coin? Caesar's. Well, he says, it's got his image on it, so render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's. Return back to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's. I think Jesus would be deeply sad and troubled by this coin. I also think he would probably look at it with some contempt for the blatant idolatry that's happening here. And so he's, in a sense, saying, like, return this filthy coin back to Caesar. He doesn't deserve your worship. That's an idol. But look at the back half of what Jesus says. Render to God what is God's. If this coin has Caesar's image on it, return it back to Caesar. But return to God what bears his image and likeness. And what bears his image and likeness? Well, that's you. And it's me. It's us. We are the ones who bear God's image and likeness. And so Jesus is, in a sense, saying, give Caesar his silver, but don't you dare give him your worship. You belong to God. Your worship belongs to God. Get that idolatry out of here. We may not have coins with somebody's head on them, worshiping them as the Son of God, but I think we'd be kidding ourselves if we didn't recognize that our own society places things in the palm of our hands and tells us to worship them. And I wonder, for you today, if there is something sitting in the palm of your hand that is tempting you to give it your worship. Is there any idol that you are struggling with in your life, that the whispers of our media and our culture and influencers and the status quo, your friend group, they're saying, yeah, worship this. This is worthy. And what does it mean today for you to take that idol, throw it back where it belongs, and resurrender to God once again and say, I'm yours. My worship belongs to you. Nothing else is worthy. That's not my God. It is not from my God. You have all of me and all of my worship. Maybe it's something worth spending a few moments today reflecting on. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's, but you're God's. Return to God what is God's. Take care, friends.